Hello and welcome back to Let's Play the Stanley Parable. Well, we were, supposedly crushed. All our bones were crushed, but we weren't really. And a female narrator came over and said that was just stupid. And that as soon as we started playing, we were dead. So, what the hell is this? The office. Huh. Oh, these are just... This is a museum. Nature paintings. Stanley's computer. Oh, this is a museum to us. Office layout. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development. The core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. There we are, that's our place, and there we go. That's the computers. There, those are the windows. There we go, here, and here, and here. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. And there we go, there's the two doors. Oh, that's brilliant. The set of two open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Right. Filing cabinets. Office computers. Oh, look, there's solitaire. Wow, that is Windows 3.1 or more likely 3.11 networks. Now that brings back memories. Bloody hell. Employee database. Program manager. Yeah, that's definitely 3.11. The buttons. Ooh. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Credits. Original music, additional voice work, original artwork, Steam support. Written and designed by Davey Redden and William Pug? Probably Pug. Additional level design, programming, sound design, and the impeccable Kevin Brighting as the narrator. Model design, animation, Stanley character skin. Wait, we can see ourselves then. Additional music webmaster made using Source by Valve. Alright, let's see what's over here. This is a brilliant museum to the game. The office. Maintenance room. An early version of the maintenance room. 431, 436. Oh, there we go, that's the copy machine. Oh. If someone could just get rid of the text, maybe then I could see what the game is about. The point of the Stanley Parable, HD remix, is to lose. Am I going crazy? Maybe it isn't the same image. Was that clock there before? I don't remember. How do I go back? Can you check for me? Oh, that's a clock. The point of the Stanley Parable is to win. There's screenshots of the Stanley Parable HD remix. More endings, fewer endings, more narrators, fewer narrators, more Stanley, less Stanley. This game is boggling my mind. Ooh, from Sergei Medvedko. Oh, from Art. Regarding your game in the works, dear narrator, I appreciate the previous Stanley game as a work of art and a standalone title. I appreciate the credit given to art, which is why I'm eager. While the Stanley Parable have infinite quests, how many endings? Oh, these are the narrator emails. After the second trailer was sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. How is the game going? I hope it is good or better than the first one, from a cool man. Oh, so this is actually the second game. The Lounge, an early version of The Lounge. The Office. What was that? Oh. The apartment timer. What? In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending... Oh, no, I don't want to know about it. The timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Ooh, this looks like Portal. Sort of. Cargo lid. This second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game, but we wanted it to look more like a place where cargo was actually stored. Oh. The cargo lift. The cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, after this early version, we decided we also wanted the option of the player falling to their death. Which they've achieved the very first time. Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first two doorways was important to get right, since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. Huh. What about this? Vent. 2 options. Meeting room. Oh, there's a projector. What's this? Oh, that's the, Ooh. Sending levers were originally a part of the sending. The players would pull a lever and the narrator would describe what color they had pulled. Damn it. The screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the sending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Sending. The game is now paused. Begin the game again, resume the game, options, return to menu, escape menu. For a long time we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Okay. This is a huge place. Monitor room elevator. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up or down with freedom above and countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down and placed the two endings together instead. Freedom ending. This is the freedom ending as it existed in beta. What's here? Countdown desk. From an early version of the countdown ending. There are so many endings here. Ooh. An early version of the countdown room. That's brilliant. Oh, the Stanley Parable, I guess. Yeah, that's the exit. Is there more stuff? I feel like I'm getting so many spoilers here. Probably shouldn't do that. Because we haven't played through the entire game before. That's all. Stanley's office. Oh, many iterations of his office. 4 to 7, not 4 to 9. There we go. Where's the exit? It is here. Alright. Well, I wanted to play the game, but we got a museum tour.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Okay. And we shut the game.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me.
No.
You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Well, we can press escape. The game is now paused. Quit to menu. But we're not going to do that. Because we want to play again. We are caught in an endless paradox of being told what to do, and if we don't, we get placed back in the beginning. At the beginning to tell us what to do. You know what? The game is not doing anything, so I will have to begin the game again. The end is never. What a mind-boggling game. I mean, in a way, it's very enjoyable. But I'm still confused whether it's just, you know, a fun experiment like this, or whether there is actually a big story behind it. But so far, it's very, very enjoyable, and I like it. And I've no idea why I'm trying to speak like the narrator. Oh well.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Alright.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright. But this time I want to go downstairs.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Let's go downstairs. Ooh. What's over here? What is that? Oh, it's just a light. Fire hose. What's this? Ooh, a
But
cop.
Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Whoa!
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley.
Yeah.
After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Mind control.
I am okay.
Oh. No, I'm still here.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
No.
This is the story of a woman named Mariela. Mariela woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
People.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
We're not in control of our lives. Our lives are controlling us. The world is controlling us. Bloody hell. We're back here. Wait a second. This is different.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
It's not.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Well, we'll continue next time. This is definitely mind-boggling. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.